Guys, what is going on? It is Chris Colgan here, your favorite DMV area realtor. We're jumping on with another YouTube live because the latest MLS stats came out for the Northern Virginia market. And if you've been following around, you've probably seen a lot more news media saying and maybe some houses for sale in your area. So we're going to be seeing if inventory is actually rising. Talk about some other news in our area. By the way, if you're watching this later, definitely hit that subscribe button. And anytime, email me info@colganteam.com or text me 571-437-7575. Put the link in below. I would love to be your realtor of choice. We are a real estate team here in the DMV, and that's what we do, mainly help buyers and sellers from this YouTube channel and our Instagram. So let's get into it, right? So you've probably been hearing, maybe you haven't, obviously, well, unless you've been living under a rock, there's a ton of things going on in the market with tariffs and all the other things in the federal government here in the DC area. So what exactly does that mean for our local market here, right? So what I decided to do was I went ahead and put up all the stats, and this literally just dropped. And one of the things I'm going to look for, right, is I'm going to see what's going on in each county. And this video, I'm going to break down. The big thing I'll be looking for, guys, is there more listings on the market? And then is there more sales? Are they down? And what's the medium sold price? And then my big thing I'm going to look at is where are we at for active listings? And then that's going to be a telltale sign. So what I'll tell you is back in like 08 to 2010, medium days on market was like 300 days. So we're nowhere near that. But let's get right into it, right? So when you're just jumping on, definitely comment where you are watching from, and we'll get right into it. We're going to break down your market as well. So let's talk about Stafford, right? Why don't we talk about Stafford? That's kind of been a more of an affordable, quote unquote, affordable place. So new listings are up 10% year over year. New pendings are up 10%. So more houses are selling. But look at that. Closed sales are down 25%. So a lot less sales. But then the medium sold price is actually up 4.3% to 539,000. But look at this. They are at their 5-year high for active listings. Last year, only 227, 18 days on market. People are getting 100% of ask. So what does that tell me? A lot more houses are coming on the market, but that is actually a good thing. We need more of a balanced market, more places for buyers to choose from. And obviously, with all the tariff news going on, the rates have really not dropped that much yet. Let's check out another county. Let's go into Prince William County, right? So new listings are actually up 6% year over year. New pendings are up 7%. Closed sales are up 11%. The medium sold price is now $593,000, up 4%. But again, same as Stafford, we are at a 5-year high for active listings, 614. Average days on market is at 13, and then people are getting 100.5% of asking price. So the market's moving pretty good there in Prince William County as well. Parts of like Haymarket, Manassas, I've seen Woodbridge, the houses sell like that. But your house has to be in tip-top shape. That is for sure. Let's check out Fairfax. Okay, so Fairfax is obviously, they're adding some new tax stuff with the food tax, all kinds of other things. But new listings up 7%, new pendings down 6%, and then closed sales are kind of even. But medium sold price is up 3% year over year. But again, look at this. We're at another county where we are at our max of 5-year active listings at 1,664. Average days on market 13, but then people are still getting what they're asking, around 101%. So what I'll tell you is what I'm kind of seeing is right now in the market is you're seeing more people actually take a little bit lower offer. They're actually paying closing costs again. They're okay with doing a home inspection. You're not seeing people waiving everything under the sun. But if the house is really unique, it's in great shape, it's priced right, houses are really selling. You go over to Loudoun County, right? So new listings up 3%, so it's actually a lot lower than the other counties. New pendings are down just a little bit, and closed sales are up 6%. Medium sold price of $805,000, up 3% year over year. But again, Loudoun as well is at their 5-year high of 767 active listings, 15 days on the market, and then 100.6 sales at price. Look at that. Max at one point, some people were getting 105 of asking price in Loudoun County. Going over to Fauquier County, up 12% new listings. So we got a lot more houses hitting the market. New pendings are up 10%. Closed sales are down. Medium sold price up 3%. But then again, 5-year high as well, 175 days on market. Let me know where you guys are watching from, by the way, if you're watching on here. Average days on market 22, and then people are getting 99.9% of asking. What I'm seeing is some people in bulkier areas like that definitely, you got to price it right. You got to be a lot better with pricing. The new construction, some of them are starting to do some wheeling and dealing as well. Alexandria, let's check this out. So you're getting closer to DC, right? Up 14% for new listings. New pendings are down 8%. Closed sales are down 12%. And then medium sold price is actually up 5%. So sales are actually up in Alexandria. And then look at that again. So each county so far we've touched on has been at a 5-year high, 316 active listings, 18 days on market next. And then people are getting 99.7% of asking price. And then let's check out one more. Let's check out Arlington, which, they've seen a lot of people moving into DC and all that. New listings are up 13%. New pendings are up 3.9%. And then closed sales are down 10%. Medium sold price, $810,000. So this is the first one that hasn't been at their 5-year average. 447 active listings. Average days on market 16, which is a 5-year low. And by the way, a lot of people jumping on. Comment where you're watching from. Let's pull up your market. Let's pull up your subdivision. Let's pull up your town. Let's see where your city is doing. Let's see how it is. And then people are getting 100% of ask. So Alexandria, out of all of these, Arlington and Loudoun are probably the two best markets right now. My guess would be, obviously things are going well. Brandon says Marshall, VA. If you've been in Marshall, VA, man, have you seen my big, beautiful face out there in Marshall? I got we opened a Fauquier County office. And, so we're over there. So let's talk about Marshall, right? One thing I look at is, let's see, average sold price. Wow, this is not going to be right because there's not much over there is my guess. So let's just see active listings. There's a lot more houses for sale over there. And then let me pull up the reports on it. Let's see what's going on in Marshall. That new subdivision behind my office actually changes a lot over there. So, well, year over year, the medium sold price is up 25%. New pendings, there's only 12 houses for sale. That ain't much. Closed sales, average active listings, 26 average days on market, and then 100% of asking. So Marshall's actually a pretty good market right now, believe it or not. But obviously, there's not a ton of sales in there, so we don't have a ton of data. Yeah, stop by the office sometime. We're right in downtown Marshall there. All kinds of stuff going on over there. Let's check out Arlington, right? So Arlington County, we just went through. Let's pull up some little more insights because we probably got we get a lot of viewers in Arlington over on Instagram as well. So the main thing that I look for, guys, is let's see what the average sold price is at. So it's actually up 8% year over year. So Arlington's actually doing really well, and we've got a lot more people jumping on. So what we're doing is, guys, I'm pulling up the latest stats. Comment where you're watching from, and we can pull up your market as well. And if you guys are thinking about buying or selling, definitely shoot me an email. Average days on market, look at that, is actually down. So houses in Arlington are selling really fast. What that tells me is you're probably having a lot more people that are having to return to the office going in. So it went from 22 to 16. And then new listings is up about 13%. So Arlington's probably the most healthiest market out of anywhere in Northern Virginia at the moment. So, but it looks like a lot of these builders are still going full-fledged with some of these neighborhoods. I mean, they're not slowing down, and they would be a good indicator to me about like what's going on in the market, what they're seeing, what different things. And if anybody else wants me to pull up their market, let me know. Bright MLS does a really good job for us of like pulling different stats. And I don't know why this isn't coming up about what's coming on or what's going on in the Mid-Atlantic. And that's something that I look at a lot as well. And let's check this out because this will kind of give you guys a good insight for sure. So I like to look at this. North Central Virginia is going to be like Northern Virginia. It's going to be like it's going to be parts of Prince William, Fauquier, all that. And then they consider the DC metro parts of Maryland a different where. So medium sold price is up 2%. Yeah, medium days on market, and this is the DC market. New listings are only up 2%, but then look at that. Active listings are up 50%. So we have a lot more inventory on the market, and that's a good thing. We needed some more of those listings on. And what I would do, guys, if I was really concerned, I would be really concerned if this was like a 6 or a 10. So what that means is it's only 2.36%, 2.3 months of supply. So if no homes hit the market, that would mean that it would only take 2 months to sell. I've seen it be up to 12 before. Now this was like back in 08, back during the big crisis. I'm moving back to Nova from Florida from June. Yeah, we'd love to help you, man. Shoot me your ma'am or man, shoot me an email, info@colganteam.com. The other thing is you can tell the showings are going down a little bit. It says expectations for lower market rates continue to affect 2025 spring housing market positively, but uncertainty from the federal government workforce return to office policies show more listings coming on the market. However, buyers in the DC region are finding a lot more room to negotiate. However, prices are likely to continue to rise or hold firm in local markets across the region. So their data is basically saying they think it's going to like hold firm, but look at that. We got 50% more listings going on the market. So there's a lot more, houses coming on the market. That's for sure. Let's check out North Central Virginia. There's going to be a lot of other places in Nova. So medium days on market is only up 2 days. Active, new active listings went from 2,000 to 2,700. And then showings are down 4%. And they go on to say North Central Virginia market will be influenced by nearby DC Metro as the fallout from DOGE and federal workforce cuts. The region has weathered those headwinds so far. And so, one of the things that they said, North Central Virginia market outperformed the Mid-Atlantic. So this is actually, it's going to be Stafford, Prince William, Fauquier, Winchester, Front Royal. They go on to say 5.1% increase, which is the most in the Mid-Atlantic. Buyers ready to make a purchase have more inventory to choose from. There's 30% more listings. However, inventory is still considered constrained with active listings, only about half of what they were in 2019. So before COVID, we're only half of the actual active inventory that we had. So are there any markets in Northern Virginia where property prices are low enough to allow profitable rentals? That's a good question. It's really tough right now. I would say, and it's not, I know a lot of people are not going to say it's not Northern Virginia. You're probably looking at like Fredericksburg to Front Royal to Winchester. Maybe even Culpeper. I would probably do the Winchester market. That's a pretty popular market for rentals. I know a couple people that have some big rental income rental properties there. Anywhere like Prince William, Loudoun, Fairfax, the numbers just don't work. The property taxes are too high. The prices are too high. It's really brutal. So yeah, I would consider Winchester to be a good one. And then obviously probably like Front Royal. But other than that, anywhere in Northern Virginia is like brutal. What if you include yeah, it would. So condos are really slow right now. This all obviously includes condos. That's a good question. I mean, the problem is right now, I'll give you a good example. There's a neighborhood in Manassas called Battery Heights, and they had some trouble getting insurance for their roof, because of all the things going on. So we're pretty much paying the price for what happened in California. So right now, a lot of these condo associations, you have to have a certain amount of reserves where they never had them. So now they're doing special assessments. They're upping the dues. They're doing all kinds of other things. So condos are really not popular right now in Northern Virginia. They're struggling. And when you see some of these new townhomes, they're actually like really condo form of ownership. So you only own the inside. And then the property, the HOA or the condo associations, and they're in charge of the outside. But the insurance companies look at it like, we got to put a new roof on this thing. It's going to cost us a lot of money. So we are basically paying the Pied Piper for the California wildfires. The other thing that did really hit everybody hard was that Miami Beach condo complex collapsing. Tragically, that building collapsed, and the condo market, we're feeling the effects from that. So yeah, condos are really slow. around here. And then obviously, especially if it has an elevator, elevators are very expensive, a lot of risk, and just, you know, they're hard right now. Townhomes are probably the most popular thing right now. And, you know, but some of these townhomes now are starting to push 600,000, 800,000 to $1 million. So it's crazy. But obviously the data centers have had a huge effect on our market. And I mean, there's more and more of them coming. And I just saw Dominion said that their demand is higher than ever. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. And somebody wrote me today and said, hey, can you help me find 200 acres for a data center? And I was like, well, I'd love to, but I don't know if they're around, and they're selling for about $3 million an acre right now. So hopefully you have a lot of money. Any other questions that you guys have? I wanted to just jump on, do some live stuff, you know, talk about what's coming on in the area. We're going to be doing some area tours where I'm going to be driving around. We just did one on Haymarket. I drove around for an hour. We're going to drop that on Saturday. We've got a coming soon video dropping. We're doing some other areas. So if you're thinking about moving here, definitely shoot me a message. But I just wanted to hop on. I'm going to do more of these lives. So guys, any other last questions? If not, all good, but definitely hit that subscribe button, guys, and I will see you at the top or from the top.